We're staying in our modifying objects.dwg file, and we're going to take a look at the boundary command in AutoCAD now. The boundary command allows you to pick inside an area within a drawing and create a boundary around that area, which for me, having worked in facilities management for many years, was a lifesaver. It allowed me to pick an area within a drawing, and AutoCAD would put a boundary around that area, which in turn would create a polyline around that boundary, which means that I could take that polyline, calculate the area inside the polyline, and calculate my usable area, my rentable area, areas of staircases and elevators and things within buildings, and allow me to calculate all those different areas for use for facilities management. So we're going to do a couple of things first before we start using the boundary command. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Home tab on the ribbon, into the Layers panel, and click on Layer Properties. Click on the New Layer command there, like so, and we're going to create a new layer called Boundaries. I'm going to put it in capitals, so it stands out, like so. Press Enter to confirm, and I'm going to change the color of the layer by clicking on the color box. I'm going to give it a nice pink color there so it stands out on the drawing, and I'm going to click on OK. Make sure it's a continuous line type by clicking there and making sure you select continuous and OK. Same with the line weight. Click there, make sure it's default and OK as well. So there's my boundaries layer on the 210 color, continuous line type, default line weight. You want to make that the current drafting layer. So you can double click on the little sheet of paper there if you want to, or click here after you've selected the boundaries layer like I have, and you can see boundaries is now the current layer. Close the Layer Properties Manager, and you can see boundaries is the current drafting layer up here in the Layers panel. Once you've done that, go to the layer drop down here, and we're going to freeze a couple of layers down at the bottom here. So scroll down to the bottom using the slider bar, and you want to come to Grid. You want to click on the sun symbol there, freeze that. You'll notice the grids disappear. And also click on this sun symbol for grid reference as well, and you'll notice the grid bubbles disappear. Don't worry too much about the dimension annotation. We're not going to be touching that anyway, but the grids are important because they're crossing the areas within the drawing where we want to create our boundary. Hit Escape to deselect the layer drop down there, like so. And we're going to zoom in on this area here, like so. Now you'll notice we've got a little sort of storage room here. This is all archiving and storage. If I hover over that, can you see it's on a storage layer, and it's representing the cupboards where all the archives are. But I want to calculate this usable area here, and I want to do that using the boundary command. I go to the Home tab on the ribbon, into the Draw panel, click on this flyout here. There's the boundary command there. It'll bring up the Boundary Creation dialog box. Now you don't need to change any of the settings here at all. The only thing you need to make sure of is that your object type is a polyline and not a region. Regions tend to be used with 3D modeling and so on. So just make sure you create a 2D polyline like so. Island detection, you want that on, because if you've got a column like this and it's in the middle of the room, it'll actually work that out and work out where it is and put a boundary around it. So you'll end up with two polylines in that particular case. But in this case, we don't need to worry. So I've got the option there of picking the points inside. It's called an internal point. So if I click on Pick Points and pick an internal point here like so, can you see it's calculated all of that boundary for me, including this weird little bit here like so. Now, I'm not worried about that at all, because what it's done is it's gone past that little space there. So I'm going to hit Escape a couple of times. And if I zoom in real close, can you see we've got some lines here that represent the internal parts of the building? If I hover over that, can you see it's a line? So what I need to do, if I just want that area there, let's zoom in real close. And we need to extend that line there to the wall line there. So I'll go up here using Extend that we've used before. Just click there and extend that up. Enter to finish. If I zoom out slightly and pan across, we've now got a boundary there. Can you see? So it doesn't go all the way down this little thin bit here. If I go back now to the boundary command and click on Pick Points again and hover here and click, there's the boundary I'm after. So if I'm happy with that, I just press Enter to confirm, and it's created now a new polyline inside. Now you'll notice there's also a block reference there. This is because I've got selection cycling switched on, which is down here. So there's selection cycling. If I just switch that off for the moment, because what it's telling me there is I've got lines on top of lines, which we have. We've put the boundary line on top of other lines in our AutoCAD drawing. But there's my boundary. And the nice thing about that is it's a polyline. So I can now right click, go to properties, and you'll notice that it has an area. So from a facilities management perspective now, I know the area of that usable space in my archive room in my AutoCAD drawing.